Hello my friends, so the new killer Vecna is here and he is hotter than the average Nigerian man. The only thing that is not hot is the fact that this Vecna is not the Vecna from Stranger Things. I swear, if they add this version of Vecna into Dead by Daylight, I will go live naked and I will touch my penis while playing Dead by Daylight. However, I have to tell you that the D&D version of Vecna, despite the fact that I'm not into D&D whatsoever, looks very cool, and this killer is extremely unique in a way because his power has 4 different abilities in one, and we have never seen this in Dead by Daylight, so that might be the reason why so many people will want to try Vecna, and you might want to use this video as your guide into playing this killer, because in this video I will give you 5 tips that you should know before you play as Vecna in Dead by Daylight, also known as the Lich, because weirdly enough some Stranger Things fans refuse to call the new killer Vecna and they call this killer the Lich because they are disappointed that the Vecna is not the Vecna from the Stranger Things. But anyway, before I give you 5 tips for this killer, I have to mention that every time there's a new killer I make a video like this, so make sure to subscribe for more Dead by Daylight tips, tricks, tutorials, funny moments and other content. If you want to watch a tip video for a specific killer, there's a playlist on my channel, so you can check it out after watching this video. Also, I want to mention that these tips are not in any particular order. It means that the tip number 1 is not better than the tip number 5. So anyway, let's start with the first tip. Use the fly spell strategically. What I mean is that you should use fly not just for mobility, but also for surprise attacks. Starting a chase with fly can disorient survivors and force them into making big mistakes. For example, did you know that you can use this spell to counter survivors who are trying to waste your time by looping you around the killer's shack? If you are one of those people who hate getting looped around the killer's shack, just take this add-on with you. This is a pink add-on called Iridescent Book of Vile Darkness, and whenever you fly through the window, that window will be blocked for 45 seconds. So it's like a free bamboozle for you. Survivor will not be able to vault the blocked window. And with that out of the way, yes, I want to remind you that you can fly through the windows. You don't have to vault through them, and so many people have forgotten about this, so make use of it. For example, if you are flying and you fly to the survivor but the survivor fast vaults the window, you can just fly right through the window and hit the survivor this way. Also, aura reading perks are amazing in combination with the fly spell, so try using Nurse's Calling. Barbecue and chili is amazing for mobility, and I'm all ears will help you when it comes to those scenarios when survivors are actually looping around the main building or the killer's shack. Try to use the add-on called Vorpal Sword, and this is another iridescent add-on, and I understand that this is the ultra rare add-on, so you won't be able to have many of those, but this is the final tip related to add-ons. The reason why I want you to try to play using this add-on, because this add-on will literally change your games, and in my opinion it makes your matches much easier than they would be without this add-on. The reason why this add-on is great is that instead of lifting up pallets while using your mage hand spell, this add-on will break dropped pallets for you. So imagine a scenario of a survivor looping you around an annoying loop in Gideon Meat Plant, for example. Most killers would just give up on that survivor and move on to the other survivor, but thanks to this add-on you can allow the survivor to drop the pallet right in front of you, then use your mage hand spell to break the pallet automatically, and while that hand is breaking the pallet, you can just loop the survivor around without wasting your time breaking that pallet. It's very hard to explain how effective this add-on actually is, but you have to try it by yourself. Capitalize on cooldown management. Each of Vecna's spells has an independent cooldown, and it's amazing because I can think of a scenario when I can use one spell after another spell and then another spell after another spell. For example, use your Dispelling Sphere to locate where the survivors are, then fly to those survivors and start chasing them, and then use Flight of the Damned spell to hit them from a range. A survivor sees your projectiles and out of confusion drops the pallet down. Then you use your mage hand to actually lift the pallet up. These scenarios do happen, and in these scenarios Vecna does feel like one of the strongest killers in the game. But make sure to rotate between different spells to ensure that you always have an ability available, maximizing your pressure on survivors throughout the match. The fourth tip is use Flight of the Damned for zoning and injuries. Conjure the 5 flying entities from Flight of the Damned to zone survivors into difficult positions or to injure them through obstacles. This spell is particularly useful in indoor maps or areas with many walls. Keep in mind that survivors can avoid your projectiles by crouching, but there are some times when survivors just cannot really look behind because they are too busy running and panicking, and there will be some moments, especially in the indoor maps, when you will get some unexpected hits by using this spell. It happened to me a lot on the PTB and it feels amazing. And the final tip is learn about the magic items, because when you learn about these magic items, you will get a bunch of confusion out of your way, because it's not that simple to play Vecna when there are different chests and survivors are able to find items that are able to counter some of Vecna's abilities. For example, did you know that one of the special items that survivors can receive from searching a chest is called Hand of Vecna, and this item will literally teleport a survivor who fast enters a locker into another locker. And I remember playing as Vecna for the first time. I had no idea that this item even exists, and the survivor was looping me, and this survivor fast entered a locker, and I was like, yay, now I got this survivor. I opened the locker and there's no survivor inside, and I was thinking, what the fuck, is this survivor cheating? And I reported him immediately after the match, but it turns out that this survivor actually got teleported into a different locker. Another item is called Eye of Vecna, and when a healthy survivor who has this item performs a fast locker exit, that survivor gets complete invisibility plus 25% haste status effect, and you won't be able to see that survivor's aura for a duration of time. So this item is probably the strongest item that survivors can use against Vecna, and you should be aware of it so you don't get too confused. Anyway, I hope this video was useful. I hope you learned something new. Now stop masturbating and start playing Vecna, because this killer is a very unique killer, and actually I'm going to play Vecna right now. I'll see you later. Bye bye.